moving on.
Let's
Josh.
take us on to a place in Missouri that some people might think is Kansas. It's Kansas City, and it's in Missouri, and they're the Chiefs. They are, in my opinion, and no interrupting for a little bit. I'll let you guys have your time.
Okay.
They are, in my opinion, still the team to beat in the AFC. I mean, obviously, we know what Buffalo is. We know what some of the... Hey, calm down. All right. Patrick Mahomes is still undisputably a top 2 quarterback. So I know this year for Mahomes, shouldn't be the year where he's drafted in like the second round, like he has been, or first round. Everybody's had a league where people drafted Patrick Mahomes in the first or second round. This is not that year. It should have never been that year, but people did it anyway. But I will still say I will take him anytime at his ADP right now. So yes, he's missing Hill, but I think Hill will take more of a hit than Mahomes will here. He's got Tua thrown to him. They're still going to need to win big games, especially with how competitive this division is now. And I think it's just going to be Mahomes day, especially with, unfortunately, 2 unproven running backs. I think everyone kind of can assume that or really, agree upon the terms that Clyde Ewards-Helaire is just not the guy. So really this running back room has kind of a shades of Fournette and RoJo last year, which is funny because RoJo's here now. They're both going in like that 8th, 10th round. You're grabbing them just to like, I don't know which guy's going to do it. I stayed away from it. I wish I would have grabbed Fournette because I've always loved Fournette. So I think I like RoJo more here, but honestly, I'm not convinced that Andy Reid, even without Hill, is going to switch to a full run heavy team. I think this is going to be closer to a split workload more than people think. People, those Clyde believers and those RoJo haters or RoJo believers, whatever, flip-flop those. I'm done with Clyde personally, so if I'm grabbing anyone, it's going to be RoJo. The current ADP is like 8th round for Clyde and 10th round for RoJo. So, I mean, you're getting either one as your like 3rd, 4th running back, depending on how you went with your running back. So don't worry about that one too much because I think you're getting someone, if you're spending the price tag there in the 8th, 9th round, 10th round, 11th round, it's not worried as much. Like when Clyde Edwards-Helaire was going to the 2nd round, you don't want that. Wide receiver wise, now this is where you get your best value. Everyone knows Travis Kelce's basically the tight end 1. You can make the argument for Mark Andrews, insert other name here, but it's Kelce. And with Hill gone, Kelce's going to just continue to get peppered with targets. There's going to be a lot of 15 catch games here. But the wide receivers, in my opinion, Juju is right where his value should be. Right now, ADP is around 50, wide receiver 25-ish. So I think you're getting him right where he belongs. People forget that Juju is a good wide receiver. He had literally a continuing regressing Big Ben the last 3 years. So Juju right where he belongs. The other 3, once again, this is late, so it's hard to argue against this. Skyy Moore's at 80 something in the 80s, and then we got Valdez, Scantling, and Mecole Hardman. They're all kind of right around the same spot. I think the one you want is MVS here. He never really had a time to shine because Devontae Adams did everything on Green Bay. So Skyy Moore, I think this is shades of a Mecole Hardman, so I'm not excited about it. Like all the hype that's going into him, I'm not saying he's not going to be good, but I'm thinking this is going to be something in the future. Like I don't get too excited right away. Don't be like, oh, he's going to have a huge year this year. 1,200 AJ Brown rookie season, Jefferson rookie season. This is going to be it's a rookie. Like all rookies don't go out and get 1,200 yards. So anyway, thoughts?
Okay, I want to real quick. The running backs. Jerrick McKinnon is back, and he studded out, so that even muddies that stuff even more. I was able to land Jerrick McKinnon in Dynasty. People pretty much dropped him, and with how he looked in the playoffs last year, crazier things have happened to see him kind of wrestle that job away. You got Isaiah Pacheco. I think I'm saying his name right. He's kind of an interesting 7th round pick to throw in there. So the backfield's muddy, and Josh, you nailed it. It's sketchy. I wouldn't be confident going in though with any more than a running back 3 out of one of those guys. Obviously Clyde and RoJo would be the 2 I would choose there, but keep an eye on those other guys. I mean, people, as far as underdog goes, because McKinnon's still at like 82 for his position ranking. So you could do worse. We saw what he did there. And then wide receivers, love me some MVS right now. the Chiefs hype is taking over. He's, going in the 9th round, 9th, 10th round at the moment. But we saw what Rodgers could do on those deep routes to him. He'll drop a couple, but he will catch a couple, and he is a game breaker when that happens. So that's all I got to say. You pretty much nailed it.
One thing I didn't say that I meant to say was really like what I feel this team is going to be is an overall well-balanced machine. Mahomes is going to have rush yards. The running backs are all going to flip-flop and do some weird stuff. Like I'm not really like sold that RoJo is going to have the job or Clyde's going to have the job. I think it's going to be both 10, other people 5, Mahomes 5, and then the wide receivers. Like I don't really know if any of them are going to be the one guy. I think that what Andy Reid's going into with this mentality is, you know what? We finally have a group of wide receivers. Let's use all of them. I think it's going to be, you're going to get those like 8 catch games for one guy and then 8 catches the next week for a different guy. Like it's not going to be the same guy every week in and out. I think Mahomes is pretty good about mixing the ball up and throwing to different guys. But the problem is nobody could catch the ball for him. So this year, if people can catch the ball, anyone who catches the ball, he's going to throw to. He's going to be on the run and just, here you go.
So I made a bet with a steak dinner attached to it with one of my friends that the Chiefs would be a 55% run team this season. Do you all believe that that could happen, or would that be something that would shock you?
It wouldn't shock me at all to see that.
I would have to disagree. I would take the opposite side of that bet only because they're in such a competitive division. So they're gonna have to throw in games, and I don't think they'll be up as much. If and when they're up, they're gonna run the ball, and it'll probably be that 55%. But when they're playing the Chargers or when they're playing Denver or a team that's gonna put up points against them, I don't know if they play Buffalo. We'll get into that in a second, but any team that's gonna put up. Yeah, so any team that puts up points against them, they're going to be throwing.
I just feel like they're going to do more, and this is just my opinion. I just feel like this year they're going to do more grinded out, win 20-17 type of games, and I don't think there's going to be as much high-flying offense as is expected. I just don't think that just the team that's built here does not feel like a high-flying offense to me. It feels like a team that it's still good, still solid offense. It's still going to get plenty of points, but I think there's going to be plenty of 24-17, 28-17, like those kind of games where it's not going to be 40-35. I just don't think that those are going to happen as much this year with this offense. And I don't think they want to win that way again. I don't think that that's how they want to handle it.
I personally think that they need to switch to that anyway for Patrick Mahomes' health and just in general, like they did lose Tyreek Hill. Like that did happen. Like that's part of it. Yeah. I think what this reminds me of in the house. I think what reminds me of most is the Patriots, like at the end of Tom Brady era. Like it's not the most perfect team and it's not the like most flashy names. Like he doesn't have big wide receivers. He doesn't have Randy Moss anymore. He's got 3-4 guys who can go catch balls. So they're going to go catch balls, but at the same time, they're going to try to be smart about it. I think Andy Reid has learned his lesson about being so aggressive and putting the wear and tear on players, and scoring 40 points a game doesn't help you. If you can go run the ball and run the clock out, that's the smarter move, because you don't put that wear and tear on your players. So I do agree that run will be heavy, but 55 is going to be hard to. I think it'll be right at that 50 mark.
I just want to make a PSA, and I'm looking straight at the camera when I say this. When the Chiefs go out and sign Julio Jones, don't you dare.
I was trying to put you on it. I'm sorry. I was trying
No. I was saying, don't you dare think that this offense suddenly got a massive bump in passing game, because you just know the Chiefs are going to go out and sign somebody. And if it's Julio Jones, please, I'm telling every player out there that is going to play fantasy football, it's not going to change a whole lot. I promise you they're going to do something like this. It could be Odell, even though Odell's, I don't know, we was reading the thing today, he might not be back till December. But they're going to make some kind of move like that. And I promise you this, it's not going to change everything as much as you think. If it's Julio Jones, I know the Sports Center is going to put up a Pat Mahomes to Julio Jones thing, that like graphic that's going to be like, who's stopping this or something like that. Just relax. They're going to add somebody. I think that's going to happen. We just cannot overreact as a fantasy football community.
I think it's a smart move, honestly. I mean, I do technically still have Josh Gordon. God knows what's going on with him. So we'll see what actually happens here. I do. Sorry, I tried to spotlight you, but it went to me for some stupid reason. So Yeah.
Wow,
no,
I
I do agree. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to take the spotlight away from you, Bill.
I think this is good for Patrick Mahomes, though. This is going to, he's had Tyreek, he's had Kelce. This is going to be good in his development as an all-time quarterback, just to show that what he can do without an insane weapon on the outside. So I think that'll grow. I think they spread around a lot, Josh. I think you nailed that one. Defense real quick.
Yeah, man. that's my bad, guys. Like, we got carried away talking about the offense. We didn't even get into the defense. I was carried away. So
you were feeling it. I like it.
Oh, well, it is what it is. Anyway, so defensive wise on the Kansas City Chiefs, because that's what we're still talking about. My man Nick Bolton is going to have a stellar year, and where you're getting him right now, linebacker 24. He is someone that I'm targeting everywhere in every IDP thing I'm in. Sucks because I'm in too many leagues with you guys. But 112 tackles in his rookie campaign, and I imagine that hot streak's going to continue with just a kind of okay-ish defense. Willy Gay has once again been the Clyde Ewards-Helaire of the defense. I think he'll do better. He's linebacker 60-ish right now, so you should be able to grab him pretty late and maybe bench stash it. Could have some options. Chris Jones and Frank Clark, I don't understand either one of these guys. They shouldn't be ranked. I think Chris Jones is ranked a little too high in my opinion. I saw some really conflicting rankings, so I'm not even going to say what I found. But Karlaftis, whatever his name is, he is going to be a talent in the future. I don't know exactly. It's hard to get too hyped about rookies, but I think he'll have a role, and I think he'll get that starting role from one of these guys. I mean, Chris Jones and Frank Clark can both play some defensive tackle too, so they might just run all three of them. And then getting into defensive backs, Justin Reid has a small chance, a good chance to kind of fill that Tyrann Mathieu slot with the loss of him. That hasn't been really a stellar safety in the past, but he is on a team that's going to score a lot of points, in my opinion, apparently not Billy's opinion. So I think he should be able to be in position to make some big plays here just because of the high-powered offense and the high-powered scoring that will happen, and people are going to try to score on that okay-ish defense. So I think those are the people you want. Anyone else I missed? Anyone you guys are excited about?
Jerry Sneed. That's my guy. Well, he's not one of the guys I would take very quick for a defensive back, but I love L'Jarius Sneed's game, and I think that 2 years ago he was quite the ball hawk, but last year kind of fell off a little bit more. But I think this year is the year where we finally see him get targeted enough to where he would make sense. Also want to throw out my boy Leo Chenal, who I think could easily take Willy Gay's spot as the starter. And I think that that's something throughout the season we should monitor, especially on your waiver wires. Just put that little star next to his name, put him on the watch list, just because I think by week 6 or 7, when Willy Gay continues to do his Clyde Edwards-Helaire type momentum, we just slot Leo Chenal in there. They drafted him in the 3rd round for a reason, and I think he could be a sneaky ad.
He's crazy athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy athletic.
I'm glad you're on the same train with me with Willy Gay. I felt bad for trash talking him, but I just haven't.
No, you're right. And maybe this is the year that he's finally not the Willy Gay that we've seen so far. But as far as we've seen, I think Leo Chenal is going to get a shot at that time at that position sooner rather than later.
It's year 3. Couldn't linebackers, certain ones like Willy Gay, have a wide receiver-esque ascent and going into year 3?
It could happen.
On that one. Now, I like, you brought up Chris Jones. If you have him in a defensive tackle spot or DL spot, he's awesome. So if you have him in
got
there,
a defensive tackle spot for sure. But if not, I'm
you're looking at an end spot. If you have like a joint end or line spot, you definitely want to go with an end there. But he's very serviceable in that DT spot.
I kind of forgot he was even a defensive tackle. I saw he was ranked really high. Maybe that's because he's a defensive tackle, and that was defensive tackle rankings I was seeing. So
he just makes plays.
He does, but it's not a fantasy relevant. You don't know when it's going to happen. Defensive line is really hard to predict, and it's really hard to pick the right one, in my opinion.
It's like a Kenny Clark, man. He's going to get 2 tackles or he's going to get 8 and a sack. You never know.
3 forced fumbles.
Not wrong.
All right, okay. Let's go through the schedule. Sorry, Bill.
Well, let's say the over/under for the Kansas City Chiefs is 10.5.
This one's tasty, man. They got Cardinals, Chargers, Colts, Buccaneers, Raiders, Bills, 49ers, Titans, Jaguars, Chargers, Rams, Bengals, Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Broncos, Raiders.
There at the end, it got better, but oof.
Who made this schedule? Goodell hates the Chiefs. I mean, everybody
Let's throw
does.
every good team at the Chiefs.
Everybody does hate the Chiefs in reality, and I really hate it because it's like they don't deserve the hate because they built a great team and they didn't do the LeBron thing where they brought piecemeal of people. They literally built this team. They drafted this team. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one.
I want to go under. I'm gonna go under.
I think I went too. I think they get right at 10. 10-7 sounds right for this team.
I'm gonna take the over just because I've been a homer this whole time. So
yeah, and I get why. And it's still Patrick Mahomes. At the end of the day, I don't want to. We can't just minimize that. It's just, man, you give him the Rams and then you give him the Bengals. Like that's back-to-back weeks. It's just
that beginning schedule is really going to make her.
They also have they also have to beat each other up in the AFC West themselves. It's just, oh man, like
guys, to talk about plans live on the air. I know we were talking, Josh, about going to the Philly Bears game, but the Bills play KC. October 16th.
We did discuss this.
Can we go to both?
Let's go.
I'm going to 2 Eagles games this year.
I have money bags.
Hey, man.
We're raking in on this podcast, man.
Ain't that the truth?
Hey, go buy some shirts, guys.
Yeah, we need to fund
our trips to make.
Trip to Kansas City.